Good morning and welcome to day 2 of my adventures in Iquitos, Peru. I haven't left the city yet and probably won't, so actually getting out into the jungle is not going to happen on this trip, but that's okay. I'm only here for a couple of days. This is the second of the 2 days. Got an early flight in the morning back to Lima and then on to Cusco. So yesterday I went to the east to the port of Bellavista Nanay and showed you what life is like along there, and then came back and did a little bit of exploring and drone videoing here in the central part of town. So today I'm going to go west toward Belén. It is a very unique neighborhood. So I'm starting on the Malecon, the boardwalk, and heading west. So come along with me and let's go see what we can see today. 100 years ago, the Amazon River ran on one side of this walkway, and the other side was full of building after building after building of offices related to the rubber industry. This was where all the rubber in the world came from, the Amazon. And probably nowhere, well, I shouldn't say that. Manaus in Brazil was huge, but Iquitos was the second largest center of rubber. Just a couple of blocks from the Plaza de Armas is the Museum of Indigenous Amazonian Cultures. It looks pretty crappy, kind of the place you wouldn't want to go into, but I promise it is definitely worth visiting. It's, like I say, it's only a short walk, nice and safe. Place you should go visit, no matter how bad it looks from the outside. The farther I go, the less safe it gets, so I don't really recommend going this way very far unless you've got a large group or someone you really can trust. And if you've never been here, I would not recommend trusting anyone. Also, the farther you get from the center of Iquitos, the more derelict the buildings are. This was probably a massive warehouse, and now it's just a burned out rubble. Oh, I thought we had a group of delinquents here, but they're actually soldiers. This is your first chance to see the houses along the water. This is on the edge of Belén. Really probably not Belén, but the ones on the back are actually floating at this point because the river's in the water is up quite a bit. Just as I was landing and packing away my drone, a man came up from Cusco, real nice. He was said he was from here, but he hasn't lived here in a long time. He was just walking along the Malecon, taking some pictures, and we talked about how things have changed an awful lot. And I think he was kind of surprised that I knew so much about Iquitos and especially about Lower Belén. Even though I flew over it, and it's, gosh, it's just not a good place to go. I may try to film some. In fact, this might be a good spot to take some video. Yeah, this is the edge of Lower Belén. You could probably see some of the stilts on the far edge, or some of the homes on stilts on the far edge. The water will be up even higher in the next few months. And they'll be going back and forth from their homes across homemade boardwalks that they have to make and take down and make and take down every year, depending on the season. I really would love to take you down there, but to be honest, it's just not safe. The last time I went was close to 10 years ago, maybe even a little more, and actually went with a police escort. I'm not joking. I stopped by the little police station that someone told me about and asked if anyone had time to accompany me, and sure enough, one said, "I'll be glad to." He walked the entire way with his hand on his gun. I mean, he had no intentions of pulling it out, but he was letting everyone know that he was armed and he was very much aware of them. Really nice guy. When I offered anything, he said, nope. I think he was glad to get out of their hot little closet of an office. I'm so cautious along here. I make sure that I see everyone around me because there are so many what we call delincuentes. That's basically another word for delinquents, well, obviously. And they're generally regarded as criminals. You have to be extremely careful through here. I'm on the edge of the Belen market area. It starts at the next block. It's been going on here for decades. I don't know how far I'll go into it. I probably should have come a little earlier when the delinquentes were still sleeping from last night's carousing and troublemaking. I mentioned this yesterday, probably more than once, that this is another world. Even though it's been a while since I've been down here, I'm still quite familiar with it. Well, here's the start of the street market. I'm going to decide if I really want to go down there or not. I've done it lots of times before, so there's probably no reason why I can't go today. Let's go see what's going on down there. Tons of fruits and vegetables. It'll be incredibly busy tomorrow. And it was much busier this morning, probably around 6, 7 o'clock, as a lot of people came to get stuff for their meals. A lot of restaurants send people here to get things for the day. You want fresh food? This is it. Although some of this I think has probably been sitting out since yesterday. A lot of it comes from up and down the river. Every once in a while I turn around and look behind me because I'm very much aware that someone could be coming up behind me ready to grab stuff and run. Got my cell phone in the front pocket that's zippered, so there's quite a bit of protection there. I'm going to walk down and look over Belen itself, the lower Belen. Not as much along here. People serving up food. Most of these people, obviously, they're working all day. They don't go home to eat. They don't bring food with them. They just grab something here for 2, maybe 3 soles. And that's how they how they get through the day. They eat a late breakfast and then a late lunch. And when I say late, that's based on times that people usually eat in the U.S. I really would love to go down there and show you some of it from up close, but gosh, I don't want to take a chance. It's not going alone. I say I was followed by 3 guys a few years ago, and well, actually been more than a few years ago, and I really was expecting to be jumped and robbed. And a family underneath their home on the stilts before the water rose said, "Hey, come over here." And they called me over and said, "You realize you're being followed, right?" I said, "Yep." And they said, "Well, here, have something to drink and hang out with us." They were so nice. We visited for a while. The 3 delinquentes who were following me went on past, and they glared at us because they knew that we knew what their intentions were. These motos really don't care if they hit you, especially if you're a gringo. Let me get over here in the shade. It is extremely hot today. But you're getting an idea of what real life in the jungle is like in Iquitos. It's been, now that I think about it, it's been many years since I've been in this market area. I'm glad it's still in business. During the COVID pandemic, they closed the official market area and then rebuilt another one. This is the first time I've been since COVID. So I'm a little surprised, but not much, that everything here is still in business, because this is the informal area where you do your shopping and selling. I'd love to take you a little farther into the market, but I'll be honest, after all these years, it makes me a little nervous still. Some of the things that you can find are just found nowhere else. Animals of all kinds. I mean, you want fish of every possible variety from the jungle, you can find it here. You want meat of every kind of jungle animal, you could find it here. I've eaten stuff that I wouldn't even begin to be able to identify. I'm gonna take another look down over Berlin. I don't know if this is any better or worse, but give you a different view. The water's nowhere near as high as it's going to be, but you can see where it's already risen, and homes on the far end of this part, and believe me, this is one tiny part of Lower Berlin. The water's already up high enough where they have to get there either in a boat or a wooden walkway. The homes are about as poor as you could be. They do have electricity now. They don't have any kind of running water or toiletries. The toilets open up onto the ground below. All the buildings have electricity available here now. They just don't have any kind of running water or sewage. The toilets open up into the ground and people have to bring in their own water. It's completely open to crime, which is, of course, a major problem here, but this is one of the poorest places in the entire continent of South America, by far. As bad as I've probably made this out to be, it's not quite that bad. The vast majority, and I mean 95%, okay, maybe 90%, are just good people who are poor and trying to survive because Peru has left them in a horrible situation. Education in this area, I don't want to say it's non-existent, but it is terribly bad compared to other parts of the world. I don't know, you could find less education here, and so many people are not only poor, but they're just completely uneducated. I find if I smile, most people smile back. They're unbelievably friendly. In fact, most, I don't say most, but a lot of them are smiling in the first place when I look at them. In the market, they don't try to sell me things like they do in the Cusco markets. They just treat me as a foreigner passing through. And one thing that makes a monstrous difference is speaking Spanish. Peruvians have a great deal of pride, and they appreciate people who respect their culture. And part of that is, of course, the language. I want to say more than anything else, you want to make friends, speak Spanish. Even if it's not the best Spanish, speak Spanish. All right, I'm back on the Malecon. I'll be honest, I feel a little bit of relief now that I'm back in a part that's much less chaotic. But I still miss the part back there in Berlin. It's such a unique place. I don't know how to describe it really, but if you come here, go with a group. Just ask people around you, hey, come together. Let's all go down there and wander around. If you're in a group, you're probably okay. I don't think I would trust any guide that offered their services, because it's quite possible the guide is part of a group that's planning to rob you. In other words, they'll bring you to the rest of the gang that's waiting. Across the street is the old prison. Now it's it's an army complex, an army barracks. I had to think for a second because I thought at first it was police, but it's not. It's military. I'm going to turn down Prospero, which for 100 years has been the main business area of Iquitos, just a block from the old river. Can you imagine what that building looked like 100 years ago? Wow, that's one of those places, if you had the money to buy it and rebuild it, it would be spectacular. This is definitely the main commercial area of Iquitos. There are some old buildings still here, but most have been rebuilt. It gets even more and more busy as the day goes on, but it's funny, on Sunday mornings, which is, since most people work 6 days a week and have Sunday off, Sunday mornings are about as calm and empty as you could possibly imagine. That's the case in a lot of Peru, but especially here. The court to the right is called Los Portales. It's probably one of the largest, if not the largest, grocery store, supermarket kind of store in central Cusco. The taxi drivers that sit outside waiting to attack anyone who walks out of the store. It's one of the few places they do it for good reason, because people come out with loads of groceries. And the prices aren't bad here. But considering that everything has to come either on a plane or by boat, there are no roads coming into Iquitos. You don't have much option to get your grocery store supplies. I always feel kind of like I'm rambling a little bit here, but I just like to talk about whatever I see. And since I've been here, I couldn't even begin to tell you how many times, probably close to 100 times in Iquitos. I know the city extremely well. So if you're enjoying this, leave a comment. If you got any questions, leave a comment. I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. This was the place I wanted to live until I realized that, nah, crime was a little too much. And visiting is one thing, living here is another. Lots more rubber boom era buildings along here. The farther you go towards the Plaza de Armas, the more you're going to see original buildings. Obviously they've been re-renovated. May sound crazy, but putting speakers out in front of your store, playing loud, really loud music like that isn't a common thing here. Scotiabank across the street. Might interest some of you to know that they have a relationship with Bank of America in the US, and you can actually withdraw dollars with no commission, take them to a Casa de Cambio, which is an exchange house, and get a really good rate, and you don't have to pay the ATM fees. I do that, more loud music. I do that constantly with my pension from the US because I have a Bank of America account. It is by far the best way to withdraw money here with the least amount of commission. I'm not hungry, but I'm gonna get something to drink, sit out on the street in a restaurant that I've known for over 20 years. It was the first place I came, and relax for a little bit. The owner will probably be outside. At least his wife and his sister-in-law are almost certain to be there, because I'm back in the Plaza de Armas now, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Well, that was fun. I came back a third time this afternoon to see about flying my drone, and found a place next to the market to take off. At first the workers said, no, you can't film here, you can't film the construction. I said, I don't want to. I want to film the rivers. And they immediately smiled and understood. So once I took off, they not only were interested, they came over and wanted to watch. So they were looking at the screen, as were a couple of other people who lived around there while I was flying over the rivers. So here's a video of the rivers. Hope you enjoy them. gonna go catch a bus, and I guess I'll go back to the center of town. It's only 3 o'clock. I still got about 3 hours before sunset, so maybe I can think of somewhere else to go. It's not too far and I can get done before the day's out. Honestly, I just love walking around the neighborhoods. People are so friendly. I love the looks on their faces when I tell them I'm from Cusco. I mean, most are real nice and, oh, Cusco. Very, very, very rarely, and not here, but very rarely do people just look at me, pause for a minute, and then shake your head and say no, which is understandable. Almost all the little food shops are all closed up for the day. They're really busy for breakfast, but afternoons, nah. People work and then go home. I think I can catch a bus. 50, 60 cents, it's kind of a hard deal to pass up.